Hi, my name is Zealand Turner. I'm the Director of School Communications here at PALCS, and I'm here with my now good friend, Dr. Marilyn Pendelton.
And this is Swinging It. My name is Dr. Marilyn Pendelton. I am founder and CEO of Your Voice Heard, LLC.
Tell us a little bit about Your Voice Heard. What is it? What do you do? What's going on?
Well, Your Voice Heard, I will start out by saying that the inception of the company, the title, was a result of an experience I had working with a student in elementary school in Kensington. She frequently visited the health room. Well, she was a helper, but ultimately her visits upticked and she was grieving an event. Every griever needs to have their voice heard, and grief manifests in different ways, physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. And I named that my company for the experience that I had for her. And not only for that particular student, but for any griever. They need to have their voices heard.
How did you get started with this work before launching a whole company for it?
My first degree is in nursing, and nursing is very holistic. And we look at things from the sociological point of view. So if you're going into the hospital, it's from discharge planning begins at the door. So we need to do that for anybody who's grieving or if they've experienced a loss. Meet them where they are and help them, give them the tools and have a strategy for them to move on and forward in their life, to live a fulfilled life.
Is grief something that you forgive but never forget? And by that, I mean, is it something that is going to be kind of part of your package forever?
Grief, according to the CDC, is a response to traumatic events, significant life change, or losses that bring us comfort. And we have been educated or programmed to believe that grief is a response to death only. But it can be a death of a relationship. It could be death of a dream. It could be the death of the ability to participate in life how we were accustomed. For example, when I talk about COVID, how many people have not been able to have the celebrations that they expected in their weddings, baby showers, rites of passage,
Graduation,
mm-hmm. bar mitzvahs, baptisms, those types of things. That is a loss. And we have to come to terms with that, but we don't learn those tools. We learn how to gain things, a job, a car, a house, a boo, an education, but we don't learn how to lose things. We don't learn how to navigate loss or significant change. It is a roadblock. When people are grieving, they bring that into their workspace, those emotions, they bring them into the classroom. They bring them into every place where human beings exist, even in our community relationships. And so when individuals are suffering and their hearts are broken, a lot of times they'll put up barriers and they're not receptive to change. They're just stuck. They're not receptive to new ideals, new relationships, and not allowing themselves to have a vision of themselves, of being healed and moving forward. When you talked about moving forward,
mm-hmm.
They're afraid of what that looks like for themselves.
kind of getting stuck in a survivalist mentality. Like, sure, you can make it through. Sure, you can keep moving. Sure, you can wake up and operate and move through that next day. But to what extent, to what level are you really experiencing things? If you have, you know, those sunglasses, bear with me, that are rose colored and you put them on, you're like, everything just looks so happy. And then doing the opposite of that and just being like, wow, what a dreary, cloudy day, when in fact it's not. But I'm also sensing this as something that's like putting on a 50-pound vest, and you get used to it, and maybe you forget that you're wearing it, but it's not until you take it off that you're like, I can fly. I can actually fly. Like, watch me.
Absolutely. And I love your analogy about the glasses, because that's one of the exercises or activities that I have individuals that we participate using colored lenses.
For real?
Yes, it is. It is. And it requires you to, you're looking at things through a different lens. And there is a story behind every, I would say, a story behind every metric. And when we approach people and look at people, or if we're having a difficult time, or we're seeing them as being kind of adversarial or stuck, we can look at them and say, this is not necessarily about me, but what could that person possibly be struggling with? And they've not received the support, or no one has heard their voice, which is hindering that particular relationship that you have with that person. If you're looking at road rage, when an individual is driving aggressively, and I was just like, what are they dealing with? What is making them behave in such a way? What happened to them before they got there? What call did they make? What happened at the job? What happened at home? Maybe somebody's business is falling apart. Maybe they're rushing off to work, and they may have had an argument with somebody at home. But ultimately, they may not have total awareness of their actions.
Does it necessarily indicate something as temporal as something just happened this morning, or I had a rough night, or something like within the context of even a few days, or could just be a trigger? So it could be trauma from a decade ago that you are still carrying, you know, in your back pocket, and these different scenarios, whether it be heart rate, blood pressure, or just someone that rubs you the wrong way, can be a trigger to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, grief is a response to traumatic events, and it could be a smell that triggers a person. It might be a type of car that someone's driving, and it doesn't have to be immediate. It could be something years ago. There's still stigma surrounding grief and getting emotional support, and that's one of the things that my company does, is educate so that we can mitigate the stigma that's associated with grief. We are taught not to feel bad. That's what's communicated to us.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. Another message we receive is replace the loss.
Your dog dies.
Yeah.
You're going to get another dog?
Get another dog. It's
right
happy
away,
hour.
Before you feel sad about it.
Exactly. To be present in your emotions and to really feel it and process that loss, process that relationship that's happened. Oh, there are plenty of fish in the sea. You break up with somebody. Oh, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Oh, get another one. But your heart is so fragile and tender that you don't have the emotional capacity to do that. And that's what we at Your Voice Heard are very much focused on when we're looking at the grief recovery method, is educating and equipping individuals and organizations and communities with the tools that they need to recover from significant loss.
Do you think it is something that we do actually innately know, and then we are taught, like me doing to my toddler, to distract, to redirect? So we need to actually unlearn some of these cultural tactics?
Absolutely, that is true. And what you don't know, you don't know. And for me, personally, my parenting skills ultimately shifted significantly after I went through the program to become a grief recovery method specialist. It changed my parenting. It changed how I functioned as a professional, how I worked in schools as a school nurse. And it transformed all of my relationships.
So how did you come across the grief recovery method, and what is it?
I learned about the grief recovery method at the church I attended at the time. The facilitators were Reverend Andrew Jackson and Sister Lizzie Mae Jackson. A shout out to them because it just really transformed my life and transformed my practice as a school nurse. It enabled me to also support people to the best of my ability and provide resources. There are a couple of programs that the Grief Recovery Method offers. So one of them is Helping Children with Loss program, and that educates and equips adults who come in contact or support children. You could be a minister, a rabbi, a coach, a teacher, a babysitter, a grandmother. If you come in direct contact with children, you need to have those skills to support the broken hearts of children, to speak healing, to speak peace into their lives. Grief does impact students' ability to function in school. But then little children, little problems, big children, big problems, bigger problems. And then they transition into either higher ed or workforce, and they're still carrying those burdens. And those burdens become adult issues as well. So I'm in Pennsylvania, but I am looking at influencing policy that is more holistic, based on the whole school, whole community, whole child model. And so that requires that the families are educated about grief and how to support children. Schools are educated as well, but also curriculum for children pre-K to 12. And so my team and I, we are working on that as well.
Is there any resistance or challenge to implementing this work?
There is great focus in early childhood for social emotional learning and elementary school. They're not quite so much programming in middle school. And it's basically absent. Well, research shows that there is a deficit. And so when you lack those type of programs, it is a hindrance to them because they're not learning those skills. They're not learning those skills that will profit them as they go into the workplace. The relationships are very digital and very closed, and they're closed in. They don't learn those. They're not learning those skills.
Those personal navigational skills.
Yes.
That phone thing is a very interesting point to me because it has become let me record this and then put it on social media, put it out there in the world, and let it be a groupthink problem where like, let's see how the world responds to this. And it kind of takes the onus off of you to navigate it for yourself, doesn't it?
Yes. And then the other piece is it's not only the young people, it's the adults as well.
Absolutely.
It's the parents as well. And when we're looking at adults and transitioning even the high school students into the workforce, or looking at our parents who are out in the world and they're struggling and they've experienced any number of losses. These parents are coming in and struggling and trying to figure out, how do I engage in this new space? How do I engage in work? It's basically a new event for them, just like for high school students going into the workforce. It's new for them.
But also, with 2 suitcases full of unresolved grief from this massive transition in their lives.
Exactly.
Is grief parallel to trauma, or is grief a product of trauma?
Grief is the emotion that's lingering, that the unresolved communication, it's a response. Grief is everywhere. You cannot escape it. Even if, all right, it could be positive, a response to positive and negative. So, for example, I had my son. Oh, yes, it was lovely. I had him. But you know what? I wasn't able to take a shower until 2:00 in the afternoon because it's so all consuming.
Yeah.
When people retire, it's like, yes, I'm getting the heck out of here and I'm getting my pension. I'm going to travel. But at the end of the day, their relationships, the dynamic changes. They no longer have that same community that they're used to engaging with, their work family. That changes. That's grief.
What do you do with grief of a good thing? Is it different than what you should do with your grief of a bad thing, or is grief grief?
Grief is grief, and you need to complete that. You have to do the work to complete that relationship. So the grief recovery method is action-based, and you take steps to complete relationships. There are negative events, but we can pull positive from them. We can learn from them. We don't have to be defined by our grief. That is not us. That is part of our journey. And healing is not a one-stop shop. And one of the ways that we can do that well is having people around us who are healing, who are actively engaged, who are self-aware. Trust and believe. I do not seek insight from individuals who have not done their own personal work. I don't.
What are some common emotional or physical reactions when experiencing grief?
It's a stressor. And it can increase your cortisol level, which will affect your body. It can cause you to have headaches. I've had students come into the health room with these very, vague complaints. But ultimately, when I had conversation with them, they were struggling with some type of life event. Can you imagine being in a room, in a classroom, trying to concentrate or to teach, and you know that your family member may be end of life, or that they have had a new diagnosis of of cancer, or that you're trying to figure out how you're going to make ends meet and keep the lights on.
Are they different at every age interval?
No, because grief is unique, and we have to consider everyone as special. Now, there are some things that you will generally see. They will stop engaging. They will shut off their screens and not engage. There might be conflict in chats, or there'll be the relationship energy between student engagement will change. If a student is absent, is their absent just due to a chronic illness? Are their grades on a downward spiral? Mm-hmm. If they stop engaging in the specific courses, not overall, but it could be a specific course, do they feel connected with that educator? For educators or for educational systems, it's important to survey. I know parents are often surveyed, but for youth to be surveyed where they are and where they're feeling. How is the school assessing what community looks like for them, and being able to really give them what they need to build relationships?
Sounds like you need to have a very engaging environment, whether it be in person, whether it be virtual, in order to even be able to gauge when someone is disengaging.
Absolutely. And that is for anyone, any place, any time, anywhere.
Reading the book or watching the movie?
See, I don't have a lot of spare time, and I do a lot of.
So maybe I should have said reading the book or listening to the book.
Listening to the book. I do audiobooks. I read so much with my students, their dissertations, and doing additional research to make sure I have it right for them. So audiobooks.
I'm so here for that. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Okay. You like it hot?
Oh, I like it hot. Yes. Muy caliente.
Rainy days, cozy or boring?
Oh, cozy. Yeah, I love rainy days. Yes, especially if I don't have to go out.
Is cereal soup?
Is cereal soup? No. My favorite kind of soup, I would say, clam chowder.
Oh, that's solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, is it Manhattan? It's the white clam chowder. I like that one best.
Is there a difference between a chowder and a bisque?
I really don't know. I eat them both.
If you saw them on a menu,
I would take a chowder.
Yeah.
I think the chowder has more texture to it.
Oh, like the difference between jelly and preserves.
Oh yes, preserves.
Okay, what flavor?
Peach or mango?
I just bought apricot for the first time.
Oh my gosh, that too. Oh yeah, I'll take those. Yeah,
okay.
Those are good. Yeah.
Is it better to study with music or in silence?
I need silence, but my son needs music. Now sometimes I'll have the TV on as just
nothing TV,
just the noise of the TV of people talking. I needed
environment.
Yeah, have some kind of some chatter on.
Pie or cake?
I like all sweets, but I'll say cake.
I thought you were gonna say pie.
Oh, no, yeah.
What kind of cake?
A cake that has coconut icing in it. A vanilla cake
with actual like coconut little flakies in it.
Yeah, and pieces of coconut. I love that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taco or burrito? Last one.
Taco.
All right.
Yeah. I want to pull it together, do it myself, but
yes.
But Burritos? No, I like tacos.
Also a little intimidating, if you ask me.
What, the burritos?
Yeah.
They're okay, but I really love, I enjoy tacos. And shout out to my family in San Miguel. And
Wish I
those
was there.
tacos, yes. And the tacos are amazing. Fresh food, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could leave our listeners, students, staff, families, with one guiding idea about healing and loss, what would that be?
The most important thing that they should take away is they are grievers. There is nothing wrong with them. Grief is the normal and natural response to loss of any type. Their hearts are broken. They don't need to be fixed. They just need to be equipped and empowered with the tools to be resilient.
I love that.